Rice Force here, back at you with another video, and today I'm going to talk about why do we have so many languages? I mean, if Adam and Eve were the only people on earth, then there should only be one language, right? Everybody in the world should be able to communicate to each other, right? Well, not exactly, because I'm going to explain what happened. I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but God actually did change the language many years ago, about 100 years after the flood, about that much, a little bit more. So go to Genesis chapter 11 and you can read with me. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used bricks instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." So you see, you see that right there. It's like, let's make a name for ourselves. So I guess they wanted to show off. They were showing off. They want to show how they were gods, I guess. I'm going to read some more. Verse 5. Well, the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. The Lord said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other." So the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. So they pretty much wanted to build a tower to heaven. They wanted to make a name for themselves. They pretty much wanted to show that they were God and that He couldn't scatter them. Because you see, they trying to avoid being scattered. You go back to like verse 4. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." So they were trying to avoid being scattered, pretty much. Because earlier, God did tell them to go out into the earth. Because they were supposed to scatter. But they rebelled against God, so God confused their language, pretty much. So that's why we have all this language. I mean, language probably would have changed anyway, because if you speak English and you go back and look at English 1,000 years ago, it's kind of different. But still, it wouldn't have been that big of a change, because you kind of understand some words in the Old English. Some language, they actually have relations to each other. Sometimes language, you can use the same words. Some words you use in English, you use in Spanish. No problemo, no problem. And even Dutch, I think it was Dutch, I was looking at somewhere on YouTube, they speaking this language. Some words I could actually understand. I think it was Dutch. They used the word awkward. I could understand some of the words they were saying. So I guess Dutch and English must have came from the same language family. Then there's some languages that are just totally out there, like Chinese, Russia. Those languages are totally out there. They're not even close to English. And I'm not going to even go with the writing. Some of these language. Some use words like English words. I mean, they use the same letters, but it'll be different. Then others use completely different letters, completely different word system. Well, here's a book that you may want to check out. It's called The Tower of Babel. You might want to check that out. It's a pretty interesting book. I ordered on my ebook right here. Just go to here. I mean, you could order like a copy, an actual paper copy on Amazon, or you could just use the ebook like I use. It's pretty interesting. Pretty much tell you how the English, not English language, but how the language came around. It tell about how people probably migrated. So it's an interesting book. It's an interesting topic. So pretty much, if they would have obeyed God, we wouldn't have had this much language diversity. It would have been a lot smaller. So there, God changed their language, then they scattered all around the world to all places. Africa, Middle East, Asia, Europe, Australia, America, Japan, Hawaii. They all scattered everywhere around the world. So that's pretty much what happened with the language. Some people say that the people try to build a tower and they wanted to fight God. It don't say in this Bible, but there's other stories from what I heard that they actually wanted to like shoot God with arrows. So that's probably another reason this happened. So for a while, we couldn't really understand what other people were saying. Now, thanks to Google, the language barrier is getting shorter now. So you go to Google Translate, you can pretty much text anybody now in any language when you think about it. You text somebody actually using a different language, you just use Google Translate and you could find out what they're saying to you. So we pretty much have it made now with this technology. So I hope this was pretty entertaining for you. I hope you learned something. Man, they spoke the same language. Does this mean that they couldn't trash talk to each other using another language? I imagine that's probably how it was before the flood. Some people, I imagine, they couldn't talk to their friends anymore when their language changed. Some probably were unable to talk to their brothers or sisters. Some lost the ability to understand their mom or their dad. I imagine it must have been pretty awful when you couldn't understand certain people anymore, so you didn't hang out with them no more. You stuck with the people that spoke your language. Because if you're in a room and you're trying to communicate to people and they don't speak your language, chances are you're going to go to the person that speaks your language. So that's pretty much what happened. Once you couldn't understand your friends anymore, you had to make new friends to people that spoke your language. Or you could probably try to learn your friend's language, which would have took a while. Try to learn a language, see how long it takes you. I've been trying to learn Spanish, but I haven't been able to stick to it. Pretty much only know enough to tell you I don't speak the language. Yo hardly know Espanol. I know this nut tell you I don't speak it. Adios. So I'm not too big in it. But you want to read this book for yourself, Tower of Babel. Just go to Amazon and type in the Tower of Babel. And the cover should look like this. Right there. So with that being said, have a good day. Have a good night. Bye for now.